Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for coming to our Retail Blockchain Consortium. It's not really the easiest thing to say, so we call it RBC, but RBC is also a bank as well. So if anybody comes up with good acronyms and good names, please let us know, because we need to change it. Anyway, the reason why I've shown the photo to start off with is the motley crew that you have here, which are sat around here. We came up with this idea, I don't know, probably 9 months ago. So between UCL, Oracle and Monochain. And we've been on quite a long journey of trying to work out the best way to put this together. And so what we've done is we'll talk you through the consortium and the plans and what we're doing now. But it's got a lot of legs, there's a lot of potential with this. So we've tried to sort of have an easy launch, which is why we're doing this as a small event today. But in spring, there'll be a much bigger event. We have so many people that want to join this and be part of this. We've had to sort of slow it down to build it properly. Onto the agenda. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the Blockchain Consortium. Then I'll hand over to Paolo, who will talk through blockchain and retail and give you a few examples, case studies, just give you a little bit of education about blockchain. It's not going to be a blockchain education session today, but we will be doing that as part of the consortium. And then the main part of the evening is going to be a very good panel, which Peter will host, and Peter will introduce you in a second. Close and questions, and then we've got sign up, which is the most important part, to sign up to the consortium, and then we'll have more drinks later on. So the catering lady has said she'll keep it open till 11 p.m. if you want. No, I'm not going to be here then, but we will have drinks. I think Peter wants that, yeah. Cool. Okay, so just to introduce myself, Anthony Welfare. I'm a retailer from birth, so my background is entirely retail. The shop is at the top right-hand corner is my family shop from the 1920s. I didn't open it, obviously. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And so I've spent a lot of time in the big retailers. I think we've got Sainsbury's here, Marks and Spencer. I don't think we've got anyone from Dixon's. No surprise there. Through to tech consulting. So obviously I'm part of Oracle now. I've also worked a lot on blockchain, which is obviously why I'm part of this. I've been working with the UCL guys, excuse me. And also I do a lot of work with Oracle and our clients, especially around supply chain, loyalty, and all the sort of good areas, use cases of blockchain that we're looking at. I've just finished, and the colleagues as well from Retail Blockchain Consortium are part of Commercializing Blockchain, which is a book which will be published by Wiley this year. So we actually got to 100,000 words, and it's about the enterprise side of blockchain. So it's the sort of thing you can read after these events and actually learn a lot more. And the rest of the guys on the panel, on the consortium have been part of that. And also, if you want to go and buy my book, you can buy the Retail Handbook, which is available now. Exactly. Excuse me. Okay, so put your hand up. Who knows about blockchain? Know nothing. Good. Understand a little about blockchain. Cool. Understand blockchain. Game warmer. Actively use and engage. Cool. And 10, knows everything about blockchain. Really? All right, thank you. So this is Vikram, who is one of our systems architects here, one of the very techie blockchain people in the room. And you don't know everything. You can ask him questions to check later. So, for those of you who are 2 and above, what are these symbols? Which ones? Yeah. I normally do this, and nobody knows these things. It's like, go on, these ones then. No idea? No? Viacoin, Vertcoin, and Peercoin, all worth absolutely zero at the moment. But when I put this slide together 2 years ago, they were worth loads of money. They're in essence forks from blockchain, cryptocurrencies. And importantly, these ones. No. So, Monochain, Gary will introduce himself later. IOTA is a blockchain for IoT devices. Humanic is building banking for the unbanked and a facial recognition sort of app. This section is important. These are nothing to do with cryptocurrencies. What these are about is small startups or medium-sized startups who are making a massive difference in this world, okay? And as Oracle, obviously, we're a big player with lots of resources, but actually these type of organizations are where a lot of the ideas and potential is coming from. So working with these and being part of these is so important to the ecosystem. And then finally, anybody follow me on LinkedIn? Yeah? So I have in my bag over there, and don't steal it. No. I had to buy it. It's like, so this is the first ever blockchain smartphone, which has a special secure chip, which you're not supposed to be able to hack. And in essence, it looks after your blockchain digital ID on your phone. It's really important for the future of blockchain adoption to be able to marry physical and digital. So at the moment, cryptocurrencies, what are they? They're in the ether, Ethereum. They're in the ether, they're real, maybe not, I don't know. But actually, if you could own your digital ID on a device, which is unhackable, which you know what happens, it's going to transform the way you interact with healthcare, with retailers, with travel, with everything. So, did I buy this because I think it's a very useful phone? No, not at all. I bought this because I want to check and see how a physical wallet, a digital ID can work and see what happens with it. I'm hoping it gets hacked because then the next one will be unhackable, you know. So don't tell HTC that, obviously. Okay. What I'm going to show you now is a quick video on what blockchain could look like in the future. And what this is, just so you've got the background, this is a day when you're buying a property, okay? So when you buy a property, lots of things happen, but what I've chosen is the day where you wake up in the morning, you go to the solicitor's office, and more or less everything is done on blockchain or other emerging technology. And this is the future that we're building. And that didn't work. There we go. The technology, see, blockchain doesn't work on a MacBook. There we go. So this is me automatically waking up, and my Tesla appears automatically because it knows I've woken up. This is the route of the Tesla. Obviously, no driver. And it's saved to blockchain, so I've got a record of my route. And obviously, I'm going to pay with A-coin, a cryptocurrency not available. Arrive at the solicitors, a little map to get me to the door. And as I arrive, because the phone has my ID, the door opens straight away at the solicitor. Excuse me. So I bought the apartment very quickly there. I didn't realize it went that fast. So I'm going to celebrate. So I scan the champagne to show that I'm over 18. And then I scan it for the provenance, where it's from, and any information about it, because I want to know it's real champagne. I go back home, and the title deed arrives on my phone. And the blockchain, or the secure keys are sent on the blockchain. Straight away, I go to the phone, use the travel app, and then fly to Barcelona to enjoy my flat. I didn't realize the video went as quickly as that, so. That's literally impossible to do. I need to slow that down. The point of that is to show all what blockchain can do, because most people sit there and go, well, is it supply chain, is it this, is it that? There's payments, there's tracking your journeys, there's digital ID, there's paying the solicitor, there's a solicitor blockchain, you know, we didn't show the certificates and title deeds, but all that side of it, there's a lot that can happen. So blockchain is not this sort of fake sort of maybe it will work, maybe it won't. It actually will. That's real use cases that will happen over the next few weeks, months and years. Okay, so what are we here for? What's the Retail Blockchain Consortium? These are very wordy slides because we're going to use them to make sure we share with everyone so you understand it. So I'm not going to read everything that's on it. But it's to share knowledge and work together for the retail value chain, okay? So that's everything from the raw material manufacturers through to the physical manufacturers through to the retailer. It's everything that's involved with getting the product to the shelves, to the customers. And after that, loyalty and things like that. And what it's trying to do is bring together the whole blockchain across the world and across verticals. Blockchain is not a solution that one person, one company can do. It's an ecosystem. It's a whole wider sort of world. And so we need to bring together everybody in this room, plus everybody else outside the room, to put this together to make a good solution. We don't know what the use cases are. We obviously have use cases today, but I guarantee you they'll be different in a year, and in 2 years completely different. The way we're doing this is through working groups, and this is the most important part of anything that anybody says today, although the panel might say some good things. This is what you need to understand. The working groups are where you can get involved, okay? So each working group, there's going to be a leader, and they're basically going to be coordinating it, managing it, and making it happen. And within it, you'll be working together to shape the different use cases, the different legislation, the different sort of standards, protocols that needed for each of those. There will be more. We've chosen 4 to start. We're trying to sort of scale it realistically. Grocery supply chain. Anybody know what that is? Paul, you're not allowed to answer. So grocery supply chain is for all the supermarket type food, fresh produce, yogurts, milk, eggs, cheese, all that side of it. It's fairly similar in the way that it operates. So we need to find solutions from farm through to fork, in essence, as they call it. Luxury goods supply chain. I'm sorry, so Peter will be leading that session, Peter Bambridge. Luxury goods, so Gary from Monochain will be leading this, and this is about tracking authenticity and then circular economy within luxury. So we're not choosing apparel main yet. So apparel on volume is quite expensive to put blockchain in at this stage. And Primark, New Look, etc., would they really start tagging everything? I wouldn't if I were them. In a few years, when the techs move forward, it will do. So we're picking the ones that make sense at this stage. Pharmaceutical, we've got colleagues in from Pharma Trust over there, and the guys have got to stand outside. Pharmaceutical, as you can imagine, is a really important supply chain. Counterfeiting, lost products, has the patient taken it, etc. There's a lot of issues around that. A really, really interesting sort of use case, well, whole set of use cases. And then finally, B2B supply chain. So that's sort of companies who are supplying to other companies to make it all happen. So it could be construction, it could be car manufacturing, etc. So that's sort of a little bit more in development. The other 3 were sort of quite well forward. Anybody who's part of the consortium, you can suggest working groups, and we'll review them, and we'll set them up as and when we need to. So it's a community sort of process. This is not about us directing it. I'm not going to read through these because it'll take me all night. But the benefits of the membership is about working together, proof of concepts, working with governments, working with legislation, working cross sectors, cross countries, cross every type of experience to come up with what are the best blockchain solutions for the different working groups we've talked about. Who can join? Anyone, basically. What we're calling is the members. So the retailers, brands, supply chain, academia, non-profit, etc. And then the others are the partners, the tech companies like Oracle, Cisco, etc. And the consulting partners like Deloitte, Accenture, you know, that in essence they will fund more of the future of what we're doing. So the members are the people that will really benefit, and obviously the consultancies and tech companies have the solutions or can build them. So some of them have them, some of them need to refine them and build them. So it's working together as a nice consortium. Importantly, we're going to do a blockchain report. So UCL lead this. This is not anything to do with any commercial. And it's going to be what does the retail value chain look like for Europe? Is it? Where's Nico? Worldwide, sorry. Thank you. So across the world, what is happening, what's hot, what's not? These are the sorts of areas. This will be launched at the summit, which will be sometime in spring. So we're working on the dates, the venues, etc. at the moment. That will be a lot bigger event. There'll be education there. There'll be lots of partners. More importantly, there'll be updates on the working groups, what's happening, what's working, what's not. And then that's where we'll share the report and the findings. So the first one's in spring, and then obviously be an annual event. How do you join? Sign up in the foyer afterwards, and there's a few signs on which working group, etc. We've got a Google form, which you just need to fill in to sign up with your details. There's no commitment in terms of money or anything like that. What we want is your brain and your time. So if you're passionate about this, join it. If there's other people in your organisations and your network, get them to join this. The more people that are part of this, the better the outcome. It's as simple as that. The more brains on this and the more commitment, the better these solutions will get. And then finally, because Nikhil likes giving discount from UCL, but if you sign up, you can get a discount on the UCL Exec Education Blockchain Programme. But Nikhil won't tell me what that discount is. You have to negotiate with him, unfortunately. Right? So I'd suggest you start at 105%. Yeah? Fair call, Nikhil? And work back from that. But don't go less than 90%, I think is fair. By the way, Paolo's about to come on, and he's in charge of UCL, so he's probably going to kill me in a second. And that said, I'm going to introduce Paolo, who's one of the founding directors of the Retail Consortium. And Paolo is the executive director at UCL Centre for Blockchain.
So I think if we are all here, we have some knowledge about blockchain, as we've seen earlier from the questionnaire of Anthony. And what I would like to do in the next 20 minutes is more or less is about explaining the importance of having this consortium, and also the difficulties that we came across when we started to think about this consortium, because the supply chain, value chain is very complex topics that touch different sectors and different sectors that have different business needs. So if we look at the past, let's say that the globalization of the supply chain was driven until for the second half of the last centuries by two major inventions. One was the container, and the other was the barcode, and these basically brought the standards into the global supply chain of especially physical goods, and they were highly complementary standards, and they allow basically the companies to grow and to supply goods over the world. So what is important to understand is that with the advent of the internet in the early 2000s, we have a lot of data-driven companies, and these data-driven companies require a lot of different type of technologies to transfer not only physical goods, or better to transfer what represents physical goods, which are basically smart data. And therefore they need a smart data container. They don't need anymore, or better, they don't need only container for physical goods, but they need this type of smart data container. And some statistics shows that 80% of the total value creation can be unfolded thanks to this type of deployment of these data into these new containers. And we think that basically the blockchain can somehow provide the technology to create this type of smart data containers. And I don't need to go through the details, technical details about how and why I think that the blockchain could indeed be the technology that can bring this type of smart data container to the markets. But we can, if some of us know a little bit about blockchain, we can go to the Merkle tree, to the distribution net, to the distribution of the nodes that achieve consensus through different type of rules, to the different type of actors that authorize transactions, verify the transaction, and so on. So for all this complexity, cryptography, network distribution, Merkle tree, and all together basically bring this type of technology that can allow basically smart data to be transferred. So without going into the details of the blockchain, I think some major drivers can be used in the supply chain of blockchain. So decentralization, so the fact that basically there is no need of a point of aggregation, which can become a point of failure at a certain point during the lifetime of a product. Security and immutability, the fact that basically there is no possibility to tamper-proof with the data. The data is secure, and the data in the ledgers is append only, so you cannot erase the data. So the history is recorded forever and ever. Transparency, because there are different level of authority to read, write the ledgers. So and different type of rules depending on the type of blockchain. Another characteristic which is very important is the automation and the smart contract. The automation basically of dispute resolutions. There is no possibility to have a conflict database, conflict records, conflicting ledgers among the people in the in the supply chain. And the smart contract is basically the possibility to have a self-enforcing type of rules and mechanism. Metadata is also very, very important because it allows basically to tokenize basically physical assets, to digitize physical assets, and to represent the physical asset, the physical goods, or the physical item that we are dealing with into a digital item. So that's all about an overview about the blockchain, in the supply chain. But let me go to the well. This is another overview about the possibility of moving from the current state to the future states. Well, basically the current state is very intensive in terms of paperwork, very manual dependence on, and not yet automatized. And counterfeiting and pilfering of the supply chain process is also present. So the drivers that I explained earlier can bring us to the future states, and the future states basically can allow can bring some benefits to the industry at large, like contract tracking and trustworthy purchasing processes, faster and traceable interfirm transactions, and the parties can be, authorized and verify the authenticity of the products in general, and the purchase awareness. But let me go more in details into the different sectors, which are basically the sector mentioned earlier by Anthony, which constitute our original proposal of the working groups. And these working groups basically, let's start with the food. Let's say that in the food industry we have some problems at the moment, and I try to list here some of the major problems that we have at the moment. The food tracking is one of the major problem, especially for when the raw material come from very far from the point of consumption. Tropical fish is an example if you are in Europe. Product quality, maintenance, and conservation of the foods, which is very, very important. Difficult communication generally we have with respect to the standards among the different actors, especially if they are they use different systems, and they are from different countries. And also we observe in the recent periods a rising cost of the supply chain due to global competition and more rigid regulatory frameworks. And finally, for fast-moving consumer goods, we have a problem with the warehouse tracking on the inventory for these goods. So these are some of the problems that the food industry is facing at the moment, and these are just some highlights that I took from the news about the problem that can emerge, and about product manipulation, for examples, where basically expired meals can be falsified by the labels, and the food in that specific case have been provided to the school kitchens, to our kids, or other problem like a more serious problem like the E. coli that spread out from the foods. So the solution to this problem could come from blockchain solution, and let's say that together with IoT. So when we think about a blockchain, and by the way, we don't have to stick about blockchain only. We always need to think about providing solutions that encompass also other type of technologies. So I think that together with the IoT, especially in this case, we can help the food industry to quickly identify when food is contaminated and promptly react, prove when the products are safe during the foodborne outbreak, reduce the waste, increase the customer satisfaction and trust, and get rid of insights and into inventory and supply chain inefficiencies. More in particular, we can benefit the supply side, especially by getting rid of electronic data interchange systems, which are based on standards that are basically being designed in the 70s of the last century, and standards are also very often very complex, and there are many of these. So having an harmonized solution, a standardized solution based on blockchain could benefit the supply side when they need to communicate with the vendors and transfer information to the vendors. From the customer side, of course, there is a benefit to track the provenance. So through the blockchain, so the fact that you can somehow have a report on the status of the food during its manipulation along the different phases of the supply chain is very important for the consumer point of view, especially because consumers are increasing their or are shifting their consumer habits toward more fresh, more organic, more additive-free type of foods. And for the retailers, of course, the blockchain solution in this case can help to increase the efficiency of integrating tracking systems. Well, one of the solutions could be the solution proposed by Oracle. I don't go through this, but I just basically say that is not only a solution for the food industry, is a solution that can be applied to different type of industries, and is divided in four main parts. The first one is basically about the intelligence track and trace the solution of the goods and the assets, so their movements. They have the second part, which is about the lot lineage and the provenance, to verify the provenance of the goods and capture the information during the transformation of the goods. And they have the third part, which is about the intelligence cold chain, which monitor the condition of the good from the manufacturer to the end of the point of sale, and improve the safety, with the purpose to improve the safety. And the last part is about the warranty and the usage tracking, which is more about lifelong products which require some level of warranty. With regard to the fashion industry in general, which is basically the second type of working group that we have think of. Also here we have some long-term standing problems that this type of industry is facing. Well, product counterfeit is the major problem. I think the people from the apparel industry or the fashion industry know better than me how big is this problem. If I'm not wrong, it's about 500 billion per year in loss. Then we have the problem about the fact that the products are changing the whole basically habit by moving toward a faster and immediate basically see now buy now. So the consumption process is moving faster with respect to the past, thanks to the internet technology. Sustainability is also an important part, especially for millennials. Social media, of course, exposition for brands showing lack of issue in the supply chain is also another important issue aspects. And also we see also a redefinition of the old point of sale of the brick and mortar type of branch or malls or boutiques, and we see an increasing consumption that go through the nets. And finally, something that is linked somehow to the sustainability, which is the pollution, which is also a very important type of topics, and that is part of the equation which drive the consumptions of the millennials, is about pollution, and the fast-moving fashion industry is really providing some problem in terms of environment in this case. So also here basically some solutions have been brought to the markets. One example is Monochain, that tried to basically create a B2B to C platform to combat counterfeit and facilitate the circular economy for second-hand products by tracking the products through a non-fungible token. And few of you know that the non-fungible token is following the protocol RC721, which is a particular link to a specific product, which is very interesting. A type of token that was kind of became famous during the end of the last year with the CryptoKitties, which is these funny games that basically at a certain point during December was basically blocking the Ethereum network. Anyhow, they are exploiting this type of new protocol. Other solutions in the blockchain space for the fashion industry is about tracking the originality of the product. There is this company called Provenance that basically issue a kind of a QR code that track all the information of the product. And of course, if you it's very interesting, because I don't have the time to go into the details, but it's very interesting that the QR code represents exactly the information that are stored in the ledger, and whatever you change in the physical garments then will not respect what is written in the ledger. So it's very difficult to counterfeit in this case. Then we have other solutions like Lumia that basically is combining AI, big data, and blockchain in order to increase basically the consumer awareness or basically the experience of the consumers, and also in order to track better the lifespan of their garments or any other products they are applying this technology to. And then we have another company which is called SourceMap, which try to create not only for the fashion industry or for the apparel industry, but also for other industry, a sort of a kind of naively saying social network where the different players along the supply chain can interact between each other with certain different level of rights of getting data or fetching data or reading data from or pulling data from the web, from the blockchain. Then the other working group was mentioned was the pharma, which is also very important. Also here, I think there are three major problems in the pharma industry, which are long-standing problem. The first is about the rewarding mechanism, especially is based on the patents, and patent is very difficult to be enforced, and also very difficult to for the beneficial owner of the patent. Is very difficult to be recognized, and there are some solutions also in this case that are being studied with respect to these problems about the patents, and how basically can be used the blockchain to track the invention since the origin, since the first step or step by steps, in order to have a secure and transparent method to allocate the rights to the different participants along the invention process. And this is very true in the big corporations, where there are big teams or different teams that collaborate together in the same for the same type of innovation projects. Distribution is also another problem, especially when there are basically different geographical areas and different segments, and generally they need to abide by different country-specific rules. And commercializations, especially at the end of the supply chain, hospitals and other entities like pharmacies, they don't have a clear understanding of all the information upstream. So there could be some problems basically at the point of consumption of the drugs because they have an incomplete information set, and overall, the standards in the pharma industry are changing very fast, and of course, is one of the most regulated sectors in our economy. So, is also very important for the pharma to move on with the solutions that can bring some efficiency in the production and supply chain process. What can blockchain bring? Well, also in this case, we have product counterfeit. So blockchain, I put in the first line because also in this case it's very important. The World Health Organization says that about 1% of the drugs that are sold in the developed countries are counterfeit, and from 10 to 7, and this figure blow up to 10 to up to 70% in developing countries, which is a very serious issue, not only for the pharma industry, but also for the users, for the consumers of this type of drugs. So the second is about fraud for cross-border transactions, major efficiency in and less bureaucratic paperwork can bring also transparency in bidding procedures, shorter life cycle for drugs and development and discovery. So. From the point of development to the point of going to the market, and the trustworthy purchasing process history that can track basically and can be very visible to all the parties, and also can somehow enhance the level of ethics among the parties, and especially when we deal with special disease, which require a little bit of more careness. Some use cases have been already brought to the market by some startups, some bigger corporations, even like Novartis, and they're trying to change this type of industry by bringing efficiency. Let me move quickly to the last case, which is about the B2B, which is basically the last working group that we have think of. And also in this case, we think there are some major issues. The first one is about the globalization of the markets, which is still challenging for the most of the SME, especially in our economy. Fast-changing markets, the risk and the volatilities of this complex market have been increasing during the last years tremendously because of the complexity of our markets, and also the quality and the compliance requirement has been increasing. In this case, just to conclude, these are just a few thoughts for the B2B industry, which is basically encompass a large portion of our economy, because we can go from automotive to furniture or whatever. Is automatization of the transaction of the cash flow between companies, for example. This could be very, very easily done, and this is already done in some cases through smart contracts. In other cases, there is the possibility, especially for the production of complex items or products, to track the goods from the raw material up to the semi-finished and finished goods along in the production plan. And also this could have benefits if cross-border transactions are harmonized in the same platform, and in accordance with the authorities. For example, this could lower the custom duties and reduce the controls thanks to these standardized platforms. And finally, basically, an ecosystem of hyper-connected companies and business that use common platforms, that use common standards, can somehow deliver faster and faster the products to the market and a higher quality. So that's my thoughts on the B2B to conclude.